All right, we're back. We don't have a screen to show you what it is, but it's actually MAPD724 in the winter 2018 semester. And we're hovering around, what, week 12 right now? Missed a couple weeks because we did a bit of a switcheroonie. So today we're going to be doing maps and MapKit. So we're going to go over that. And I've got a bit of a PowerPoint presentation to show you guys. And then on Thursday, this coming Thursday, I'll be with you guys again for a second time this week. And we'll be talking about sensors, right, which is kind of a really cool topic. I think it's good for people who are interested in that kind of stuff. It's more complex, and it may span more than one day because it's quite complex. Even this topic here is really complex, maps, and I kind of really went down really simply so we can get going. All right, so I'm in week 12, and I'm going to show you this thing. So it kind of looks like this, where we want to use MapKit. Okay, we want to use MapKit. So maps and MapKit is the other thing we've done. So far we've done Scene Kit, right? Sprite Kit is what we did. We did a bunch of other ones. Normally we've been using UI Kit throughout the entire thing. Now we also did a kind of a web API where we did web services, and now we're going to do maps. So you'll need to import MapKit like it says. Let's open up a new Xcode project. So let's do this together. So we'll say Xcode. And just like before, I'm going to create a new Xcode project. We're going to make a single view app right now because we're going to focus on maps. And we're going to say that is MAPD724-W2018. And it's going to be lesson, really it's lesson kind of 11 or 10. Because we missed that lesson. But I'm going to say lesson 12, and we'll say part 1, because we're going to have part 2 coming up on Thursday. Different thing, but, you know, just in case. So this is like MapKit. Again, I'm using Swift. I'm not using any kind of unit tests. And we're Centennial College. And then we're going to click Next. I'm going to make it a Git repository because I'm going to put this up on GitHub and click Create. And what this is going to do is make a, we'll say MapKit. We'll call this MapKit demo. That's what the display name will be. We can make whatever we want in the display name, right? And let's take a look at our main storyboard for a second. Right now, our main storyboard, is empty, like it should be. And what I want to do is save my project, and I want to go to source control. So just like we've done before, we have this. Here's our source control. And what we want to do is we want to create, a remote on GitHub. And if you have access to your stuff, and I'm going to choose this one for Centennial, I'm going to create a remote that's called MAPD724 W2018 Lesson 12 Part 1. Yay. It's going to be public. The remote of the origin remote is going to be called origin. I'm going to click create. So this is all done without, who's the owner? The owner is yes. And this is going to be done without using command line, right? Because we can do this right through Xcode again. Okay, cool. So we've created a remote, and it's stored right here. This is where the origin remote is, and you can actually see all the details of how to connect and everything else. Okay. We want to make a simple app today. We're going to make an app that shows a simple map. And I'm going to challenge you guys. It's going to be a challenge today again. Come on. I can't just make a map. I want you guys to make your own extra stuff today that you're going to hand in. Of course, there's always something to do. Otherwise, it's too boring. I'm going to show you part of it, and then you're going to fix the rest of it. Okay? So, this is the first part. And what I want to do with source control is do a commit, which I'm going to call initial commit. There we are. I'm going to push to my remote. So commit 2 files and push, which is going to be pretty empty. Excellent. Okay, notice that now we have an initial commit from before and something else. Now, if you notice, we have our application, and we have our main storyboard, which is empty. And before we start, I want to think about doing things in a slightly different way than we've done before. Up until now, we've been using, you guys use what? Pivotal Tracker, if I'm not wrong, or something like that. What are you guys using for Agile project management? Is it Pivotal Tracker? Jira? That's nice. Jira is like industry standard, right? Did you guys get access to Jira on your own? Yeah. Okay. Great tool, love it. But what if you don't have access to that stuff? And what if you just want to use GitHub? You can. And let me show you where that is. So I'm going to go to GitHub. And we'll look at Centennial College. And let's take a look at our site here. Now this, again, I meant to do this with you a couple weeks ago. I do apologize. But let's take a look and see what happened. So here's my project. And it's pretty empty right now, right? I mean, I've done a couple commits. But we have a couple things here. One of the things you notice is that I have one branch, 0 releases, 1 contributor, and I have issues up here, as well as pull requests and projects and a bunch of other stuff. Let's click on issues. So what you can do is you can make issues work like tasks for a milestone, right? I want to make a simple map app, all right? And the map app that I want to make, I'm going to start and you're going to finish. The map app we're going to start together is something where I want to put, you know, the name of my, or I probably would easier to put the coordinates of the place you want, because you can't just type in a name. It's hard to do that. If you really want to for bonus, I'll allow you to do that, but it's hard to do that because finding a location and searching for a location is something totally different. You may have to combine it with web services. But for now, what I want is I want to make a simple map app that takes coordinates, latitude and longitude, and then shows you what those coordinates are on a map. Okay, that's what I want you to make. So notice that I have milestones and I have issues and milestones. If I click on milestone, I can make a new milestone, which is I want to make this new app, right? So new milestone. I can create a milestone too. And the milestone that we're going to create is, as a user, you know, I would like to enter longitude and latitude, or latitude and longitude. Would it be latitude and longitude? I think it's latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude. I probably spelled that wrong. Longitude. And have a simple app show the location, because it's not my location, it's the location on latitude and longitude, right? So let's spell that correct. See if I can latitude. Yeah, I'll be okay. There we go. All right, so that's the high level ask. I'm making an app, very high level. That's my milestone. And I can have an optional date. I want to make it due today. So let's choose it so that it's Monday that I'm using it. I can put more descriptive information in here if I want. I'm not going to do that right now. And then I'm going to click Create Milestone. So what this does is it gives me this big milestone, right? This is all up on GitHub. All right, let's make some issues now. First of all, actually, let's look at some labels. Labels are really ways we can kind of, you know, tag our issues, right? Think about issues as tasks, subtasks. I want to create this app and I have subtasks I want to do, right? So I can have bugs. I can create issues that are bugs if I find a bug. On enhancement, I also want to create a feature. So I want to create a new label, right? And I want to make this the new feature. So new feature, right? And we can choose a color for that. You can actually choose one, so make it like super green, like this one, a new feature. Right? That's what it's going to look like. And I can say, now see down here, see new feature or request, which is an enhancement. I want to say new feature. Okay, create my label. I can also create other things like high priority, low priority, medium priority. I can do that. So let's make some labels. So low priority, right? And maybe low priority is going to be something like a red, like this, low priority. Or maybe we'll make it something, another color, like a light green. There we go. That's more like it. Low priority, right? And that's what it would be called, low priority, right? And let's make another label. called medium priority. Look at that. It's already giving me the colors. And you'll see what I'm doing in a second. So I don't want this color. I want kind of a lighter color. Medium priority. And let's say create the label and make one more called high priority. High priority. Now you can make any label you want, which is really cool. And let's just make this kind of this color here. There we go. High priority. And create. All right, cool. So I've got all these different labels here. And we can add more if we want. We can delete them if we don't like them. Now let's make some issues. Okay, so how do I make issues? Same way, new issue. All right, so as a user, I want to be able to see maps. I need some kind of MapKit thing, right? Some kind of view, right, that allows me to pull stuff in. And if I type it in, if I go map, you can see that there's a MapKit view that I can actually pull into Xcode. So I need add MapKit view to the storyboard. I need to do that. Okay, so that's like step 1 of 1. And I'm going to click. Now, notice here I've got some stuff. I can put in what's the milestone. Well, I can relate it to the specific milestone. I can also say that my label, it's going to be a kind of a new feature. Here's a new feature that I want to add in. And it's definitely high priority. I mean, if you don't have a MapKit view, you can't see the map. So it's pretty high, right? Okay, there's my new feature. And I don't have a project yet. And I'm going to click Submit New Issue. Yay! And now I have one little issue, right? And if I look at them, I can see all my issues listed. Here's one of them that I have right here. You can see how it's tagged, right? And let's add another one. So I want to add a MapKit view. I also want a button. So my button on the bottom of my MapKit, when I click onto it, I can also show my location on the map app, right? Because we have a map app, right? So add a button to the UI, which allows the user to see the map in the map app. Okay. Again, you know, for Milestone, we're going to say it's this one, right? Labels is a new feature, right? Here's the new feature. I can actually type it here too for the filter, new feature. And I can also look at, now I don't think this is, if we didn't have this, we would still see the map and we can still see it later. So I'm going to put this as low priority. It'd be nice to have this one. All right, so submit new issue. There we go. So we got 2 issues. Okay, there we go. And one more issue. I want some kind of, this is what you're going to do. I want some kind of label and some 2 search fields, right? I want 2 search fields, one for the latitude and one for the longitude, right? I need these 2 text boxes, text views, right? And a button, right? When you click the search button, right, it's going to change the map to reflect whatever you typed in. Okay? So new issue, add labels and text views to ask the user for latitude and longitude information. Right? Now see, I'm wording it so that you can do it any way you like. I didn't say how many. Labels and text views. You have to figure out that when you do, you're going to do the UI design. And maybe there's going to be another task that says design the UI. All right? Like ahead of time in some kind of Photoshop or, you know, Sketch or whatever you're going to use, right? So again, I can tag it. So this is pretty important, right? So we're going to go to the milestone. I'm going to pick the milestone. I'm going to pick the label. I think it's definitely a new feature, right? But kind of is and it isn't. Maybe it's almost a dependency, right? But we'll continue. This is definitely high priority. We're going to make sure we have these done. So if you don't have those, we're in trouble, right? Okay, cool. So we got a few issues here, right? Add labels, add a button, right? Add a MapKit. We forgot the search button, so we're going to say new issue, add search button, that takes the user latitude and longitude information and updates the map, right? That's what it does. That's pretty important. Now, I need the other things as a dependency, but we're going to put in a label. We're going to say new feature again. This is part of it. And we're also going to put in high priority, because without this one, then we're going to be in trouble. And it's definitely the same milestone, because we're working on the same milestone. You can work on multiple milestones if you want. Okay, cool. And one day, here we go. There we go. Add a search button. Da, 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 da. We got 4 issues right now. What else? Am I missing something? How about code? Like, we didn't talk about code, right? We have to add code somehow to show the map. We want also some default location. I suggest Toronto as the default location, right? Because right now we're in Toronto. So new issue, add code to the project to select Toronto as the default location for the map, right? Something like that. And again, this is it high priority? I would say no, because if you didn't have that and if it showed nothing in the beginning and you put your stuff in, it'd be okay. But I think it'd be nice to have some default location. So again, I'm going to choose this part. Labels, I'm definitely going to make this a new feature. And we're going to also choose some other stuff. Like, it's probably going to be, a low priority again, because if we don't get it done, it's okay. All right, submit new issue. La la la. We have a few issues now. So add code to the project. What about code to the project to take us to the map app? We got the button, right? We got to put that in there too, right? So new issue, add code to the project so that when the user clicks the see on map app button, the user opens the map app with the current location. You can put as much detail as you want, or as little as you want. You can make this really small, right? I'm just making it really, really long. You don't have to type what I'm typing. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how to use this without needing to use new feature. This is kind of a higher priority, because if you don't have this, then then your button wouldn't work. But it's also low because the other one's low, right? Low priority, right? Because making your map work in the map app is kind of low priority anyway. So, all right, so that's enough. I think we can start with those, right? And we're going to have other ones because we're going to run into some problems, like we always do. So these are some issues. Now notice that they're all listed here, and there's a couple ways we can close these issues. Right now, these are open issues. Think about them as tasks, right? So I can close them manually, or, and this is the beautiful thing I want to show you guys today, you can close it with GitHub directly, right? Let's talk about that. So first, let's add this MapKit view to the storyboard, right? That's important. Okay, so we're going to be over here, and let's go to this MapKit view. Now, there's different ways of doing this. You could do this with code, so you can procedurally generate this, right? But I'm searching for MapKit view, and I'm pulling it in, right? And what I want to do here is maybe make it stretch so that is kind of, takes up most of the view. I'm kind of just using the default bars here. We can see the dates. And I'm going to pull this down so that it takes most of the view with a little bit of space down here for these, take me to the map app. And for the top, I want to also give some space here for latitude and longitude, right? So that's what's going to happen up here, right? So kind of something like this. I want to build my UI first, of course, because that's the most important thing. But hey, guess what? I did this part. And just to show you, I'm going to reset suggested constraints. So I got some basic constraints here. One thing I like to do, I know I'm going to use MapKit. So in my view controller.swift, I'm going to go and actually import MapKit. So I'm going to go import MapKit. There we go. So I kind of did that. And I don't care about memory errors right now. Let's get rid of this. And let's just clean this up so we're ready to go. And ta-da, we've got some clean aspect. Now, I want to definitely run it in my simulator just to see that this runs. There's nothing here, just an empty MapKit thing. Now, one more thing to note, when I added in this MapKit view, you can see that on the right in the inspector, there's quite a few different things we can add in. One thing I want to add in is scale. So please click scale on. We don't care about traffic right now. Right now it's scale to fill by default. These are all things we can set up with MapKit, right? I want to save my project, which modifies my view controller and my main storyboard, right? And I'm going to run it. I'm going to build it because I don't want to have any problems. How you doing? It should succeed because there's no code, right? I'm not even connecting anything. You should see this, a blank screen right now that does this actually. Entire of North America, right? One thing you can note is that I can scroll around North America even by default, just by putting this map view in place, right? So I can kind of scroll around here, right, by default. Okay, that's just drag and drop functionality. Hey, that's the first drag and drop functionality we've ever seen with iOS, right? It's always some crazy configuration. This is the first time when I saw it, I was like, holy, this is easy, right? This is easy. Remember now? I can't remember. I can't remember. All right. So yeah, so this is crazy app that runs. We're good. It added it in. We've tested it. Guess what? We can close an issue, right? So how do we close the issue? Well, I want to go to source control. I want to go to commit, and I want to put in added MapKit view to storyboard. Oh, storyboard. Closes number 1. Closes number 1, right? I'm going to say commit and push. Commit and push. So I put in this stuff exactly. I said, la 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 la, I add the MapKit view, closes number 1, right? And if I look at here, notice that I had 6 open issues. If I refresh, I have 5 open issues automatically, right? Because what happens is it sees that I put in my commit message, closes number 1, and then it closes the issue right away, right? So if I look at issues, this is why I like this. I can see that there's 1 closed issue. Here's a closed issue. And if I look at the closed issue, there's open, 5 open, and 1 closed, right? If I look at the issue and go through here, it says, all right, so here's my comment. And then if I scroll down, it says, here's my thing, right? And then it says, I closed this issue 18 seconds ago, right? I closed this issue 18 seconds ago because I mentioned this one, right? And if you notice, if I go back to my code, and if I look at my commits, take a look. It says MapKit, add MapKit to storyboard, close issue number 1. And if I click on number 1, it takes you to that issue right away. More details around what you did in GitHub, which is way more helpful than what we've done so far. All right, so really, really cool. And if you want to take one further, let's go one further than that. Let's take a look at our milestone now. Our milestone is 16% complete, right? So it keeps track of how complete your milestone is so far, right? Now this is based on, I have 6 issues and I close 1. So 1 out of 6, 16%, right? But it's pretty cool, it's pretty useful because I can have more than 1 milestone here, right? And much more detailed milestone than this. This could be a task, and then I can have all my issues as subtasks, things that I want to do to make that issue work, right? Are you with me? It's pretty straightforward stuff, right? Okay, cool. PowerPoint, PowerPoint, PowerPoint. So we did this stuff with typekit, a MapKit, I mean. A map has a type, standard, satellite, hybrid, and there's also muted standard, right? And if you notice back in Xcode, here's Xcode. Notice that there is semantic right, is playback, spatial, forced left to right, and so on. And the map type is up here. Here's your map type, which is standard, satellite, hybrid, satellite flyover, hybrid flyover, muted standard, right? There's a bunch of different things. Let's just leave it as standard for now. That's the map type, standard. Okay, but that's what we're talking about here in the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint talks about what type of map you're going to see. Okay? And the area that's displayed in the map is its region. That's a special thing. It's the region of the map, right? And typically it's a struct that has two parts. There's something called the center, and there's something else called the span, right? And the center is where the middle of the latitude and longitude you're putting in is, right? You're going to use some kind of coordinate 2D, which is part of location kit, actually. There's another kit. When you use MapKit, you actually get location kit too, right? And there's also something called an MK coordinate span that comes with, when you look at this particular struct. And it's the quantity of latitude and longitude that is going to show in the region. So in other words, how high up am I looking? How much do I want to see? That's the span of the map, if you will. All right? All right, so here's some simple code. Let's do this. So basically what I want you to do is we want to set up this location, right? So CL location coordinate 2D make. And then notice that they gave us some example coordinates, right? We want to find the coordinates for Toronto, right? So we could say let's find the coordinates for Toronto first. What are they? So first of all, let's go and say, latitude and longitude, if you didn't know, for Toronto, right? And it's going to show you, Google's going to show us that it's 79 west and 43 north. Well, west, by the way, is negative 79, right? In the coordinate frame, that's how it works, right? If we had something east, it would be positive, right? East is positive, west is negative, right? North is positive, south is negative, right? So this would be a negative 79. So this is the actual coordinate space for Toronto. So we need this two things. Let's break them down into a couple of variables, right, in our Swift code, right? So, by the way, before we do this, should we be doing that? Let's go back to my milestones and my issues. What did we say we're supposed to do? This is why it's really cool to do this. Add a button to the UI. Hey, I was trying to look at latitude and longitude. Is that right? Is that even a high priority? No. High priority is this. I need a button. Because if I don't have the button, it can't go, which allows the user to see the map in the map app. UI, a button to the UI, which allows the user to see, what the heck is this? This was wrong, right? This was actually incorrect because I did the same thing with something else I did up here. Actually, it wasn't incorrect. I did it on purpose, right? Because you want to be able to delete stuff through this as well as through GitHub. So this is wrong, right? So if I click on this issue and I'll say, something like duplicate, so I can go to my labels and you can see that there is a duplicate issue, right? Duplicate. And I want to close this one off, right? So I want to say that now that I marked it as duplicate, I want to say close this issue, closed as duplicate. You can put in a, kind of comment in there and then close and comment. All right, cool. So I closed the issue. And now, guess what? It looks like I'm even further ahead than I was in my milestone. My milestone is now 33%. Is that true? Not really. It just keeps track of how many issues I had. Let's say if I have hundreds of issues and I just closed off one, then it would give you the approximate percentage. That's what it's supposed to do for you. So that's cool. Let's keep going up the issue chain. So add labels and text views to ask the user for latitude and longitude. That's next on my thing. I also have this one. Add a search button that takes the user's latitude and longitude information and updates the map, right? So I need this one and this one. Okay. So I need labels and text views. So let's go and do that next. That's your to do, right? I'm not going to program it. I want you guys to program this part. It's pretty easy. But I'm going to add in some labels and text views for now. So I'm going to go to Xcode. And on the top here, inside my view, I'm going to click in label, right? And I'm going to drag in a label that says latitude, enter latitude, right? And maybe a place where it says enter longitude. So I'm going to kind of option drag. Again, we haven't done any kind of planning at all here. Latitude and longitude, let's put this one on one side, one on the other side, and then a couple of text views in the middle. So we'll say the text view. So here's my text field, right? There we go. And we're going to say the latitude and longitude, so we're going to get some information from here. We'll kind of put it in the middle like this, right? So latitude, right? And by the way, nothing's wrong with actually putting in some default text, and you may decide that's a better way of doing it than a label and text field, right? And let's actually take this one, and we will control option drag, so we have the exact same one on this side. Pretty simple, kind of usage scenario. And this is too big now. I need some kind of button to put in there to submit or search, right? So maybe a search button. We said we're going to do that. Search button. Might as well do it now. Or how about button? I'll be okay. I'm jumping the gun. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to make this thing work, right? Which I'm not going to actually do. You're going to do it. Okay, so this is going to be the search. There we go. All right, so latitude, longitude, and search. There, got some buttons. This is pretty good. I didn't talk about, colors or nothing, right? I didn't talk about any of that stuff. Okay, cool. So let's see what I covered so far. I added them, right? And what does it say inside of the, oh wait, basically the other thing I have to do is I want to choose the view, and I'm just going to choose automatic constraints here, right? Because I don't want it breaking the view, right? And if I go back to here, I can see that I have added labels and text views, but I really haven't tested it. Let's see how it works. Let's just run it. I know it's not going to do anything right now, but I want to run it to see how it didn't break my view. It looks right, basic things, right? All right, so I got my latitude. I want to type in 43 and my longitude minus 73 or something like that. And then the way I would do it is click search and then good to go. That's what I would do. Just click search and this would update. All right, so it looks like it works okay. Now let's update GitHub. So I'm going to go to source control and I'm going to commit. And I'm going to say that I added labels and text fields to allow the user, how about that, labels, text fields, and I also add a search button, right? I added those things as well, the search button. Now this is interesting because take a look at this. Labels and search text fields is one, and if I look at my issues, my search button, right, is something else right here, right? Search button is issue number 4, and labels and text fields is issue number 3, right? So I want to close both at the same time. So I'm going to say closes number 3, right? Closes number 4. Make sense? And I'm going to commit and push. And if I did everything properly, then if I go back up to here and refresh, I should only have 2 left. Right? Okay, cool. Add code, add code. We're at the add code stage, right? I know this is a very simple, stupid example, guys, but the point is I'm trying to show you how to use GitHub with issue tracking and milestones, right? This is the idea here. All right, add code to the project to select Toronto as the default location for the map. I was just going to do that, but I did it, and this is low priority, and I followed my priorities here, because that's how you're supposed to do it in a sprint, right? In your sprints, you're supposed to only do the high priority items first, and then medium priority, and then low priority. Okay, so let's go back to this low priority. And by the way, for pivotal tracker, sprints are called iterations, yeah? So let's go back to the code. All right, so Toronto, right? Now I can make this as easy as I want or complex as I like. Right now I'm going to kind of, in here in the global space, I want to create a variable which is going to be called longitude. Or how about default? I will call it default longitude. Oh, wow. And we're going to assign it some value, right? Which we're going to get from the internet. So latitude, longitude. So we're going to grab this value right here. Oh. And we're going to pull it in there. And we're going to say negative in front of it because it is a negative value, right? And we'll do the same thing for default latitude, which we're going to go back to the internet and grab this value here and put that in. There we go. Now you don't have to do this, default latitude, default longitude, but I like to because then this way I know what it is. I don't want to kind of type these values in, right, over and over again. You could also reduce these things like lat and lon, right? That's not bad either, right? But I want to make it so it's really long. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to use this idea, okay? So if I go back to my PowerPoint, it gives an idea of what to do. It says that the location is going to be some kind of CL location coordinate 2D make, right, with latitude and longitude. So we'll say that let default, or we'll say map location, right, equals to, right, CL location coordinate 2D make, this one. And what it's asking for is latitude in degrees and longitude in degrees. So the first one is going to be default latitude. Oh yeah, I love how this works. Default. And I think I got to do that again. Let me just undo that. Undo that change. Yay! I meant to do here in this particular spot right here. This is going to take this default latitude and plug this in here, right? And undo. Okay. And then I want to take my default longitude and plug it in here, right? So that is going to be what I'm looking for, right? So what's the problem? Why am I having this issue come up? It says, cannot use instance member default latitude when property initializer is run before self is available. So what does that mean? You guys have done this stuff before. Come on. Can I use instance member default latitude and default longitude within property initializer? Within property initializer, right? So this is the property initializer, right? Run before self is available. So before self is available, I'm using these two values. That's what it's basically saying. It's saying you can't do that, right? Because this view controller is never run, and I'm trying to access something that doesn't exist yet, right? So maybe we have to do this for now. Let's see if we can fix this though. So I hate this, right? I hate putting some value in here by default, right? As an example, when we shouldn't have to. We should be able to kind of put in a value there. All right, so we'll fix this later. So we'll put in to fix, right? Because we don't know how to do that yet. Okay, cool. That's what I want to kind of do, right? And that's a default location. And I want to basically take this map location, right? And I want to use it just like it says here. I want to create a location, right? Now I'm going to kind of do this twice, and you're going to see why. So let location equal to CL coordinate 2D make. Now, what about if we did that now? If I kind of said, well, my default latitude, let's see if I put that in there. Oop, I didn't mean to do that build. I meant to kind of top, oop, Jesus, and undo. I meant to do copy, paste, copy, paste. So why would it give us an error here? It's the same thing, right? It says that editor placeholder and source code initializing immutable value lock was never used. Consider replacing. This is an object, right? That's telling us now editor placeholder and source file. I don't know what that means, right? So let's just go back to here. Editor placeholder in source file. Oh, this is part. These default latitude. I wonder if I named them incorrectly. Default latitude and default longitude mean, maybe they mean something. Like really, they really mean something. And that means like I could check this out by changing them. I could just change this value. So refactor, rename. We'll call this like call this like lats, right? And we'll say, we'll make this long. I don't think this is the reason, by the way, guys. Rename long. Long and lat. Lat and long. This is good. And I think it's because of where I'm declaring it in my class. And I'm making it lets instead of vars. Let's just curious if I just did this. If it was going to change anything. Placeholder in source file. What the hell did I do wrong here? Let lock be this. Map location. Inside my view did load. This is all good, right? Is it giving the same error? I'm just gonna rock and roll and just build anyway. How about them apples? Well, if this is true, then maybe can I still use lat and long? What if I just use lat and long here? Does that work? Lat? No, it's because it hasn't initialized. That's why I can't use it up here. So this is cool for us down here by default, but it's not cool when we use it up here in my map location. All right, we'll figure that out. Let span be equal to this. Remember we talked about this? So let span be equal to our MK coordinate span make. MK coordinate span make, this one. And what it's looking for is latitude delta and longitude delta. That means the change in latitude and longitude, like basically the view that you're taking, how far up you are, right, in your view, right? And let's make it something like, you know, I'm going to kind of say the default span. Now this is like how we have lat and long. I want to make it kind of like a default delta. Let's call this delta up here. So var delta. We'll call this like 10. Okay, and we'll make it 10.0. So delta is 10.0, and what I want to do down here is put in delta. So delta and delta. So I want to put this in twice. All right, so this is basically to say that we're going to have our delta be the span. So this is the 10 units out, if you will. And maybe that's not right. Hey, this is something new. We never considered this. Maybe we should also look at some kind of magnification. Wait, that's a new issue. So going back to my issue, I just thought about a new issue, right? And remember we're doing our sprint. So we'll say new issue. Enter label and text field to allow user to specify magnification. Right? Okay, so this is label, we'll say new feature. Right? This is kind of not really high priority, we'll say it's low priority. If we don't do it, it's okay. Right? And we're definitely going to be on the same milestones. We're just increasing the milestone again, right? And I'm going to click submit new issue. There. Cool. We still have 3 issues left. Now I've added a new one, right? And guess what I need now? Code to make that happen too, right? I kind of did part of it, but you guys are going to do the other part, right? So enter label and text field. I'm going to finish this part off because I'm still working on this one, but I thought about this one. I'm going to keep working. So I did this part, and let's do the next part. So reg is the region, right? Make MK coordinate region make, and we're going to pass in location and span. So again, let region is equal to MK coordinate region make, and we're passing in location and span. Okay, those are the two parts we want, location and span. Okay, cool. And then we want to update the map. We want to say self.map is equal to, oh man, we don't have a map. What are we missing? We're missing some kind of reference to the map, right? We never said anything like that, but you know, we can assume that this was supposed to be done. So what we meant to do, and we didn't put it in the storyboard, we could probably put it in as an issue, but for now, I'm just going to make it so that we don't kind of take too much longer here, because this is like really straining us much longer than it should. So what I want to do is I want to create a reference to this MapKit view, right, inside of our view controller, right? Just like we've done before, control drag in here. And we're going to create a new outlet. We're going to call this map. Click connect. There's our map. And here's my view controller Swift. So now I have this map, right? Okay, cool. And what I want to do is location span region. I want to say self.map.region is equal to region, which is what it says in our thing right here. All right, is this enough? Is this all I have to do? I mean, it'd be crazy if this is all I had to do to make my map work, right? Well, let's test it, right? Because this is the first part. So go and see if it works. Build successfully. And do we see Toronto? We do. If you want to get closer, you can get closer, right? You can get, instead of 10, let's try something like 5, which is half of the magnification or half of the way out. Like it's much closer, right? That's what this delta is, right? So if we want to go through it and we can see closer, you can see now that we see more details, Toronto, Markham, and so on, right? And you can still drag it around. You can still drag it. The one thing you can't do is you can't zoom in and out. That would be an extra really cool feature issue, right? So you'd add that in. Hey, wouldn't it be nice if when I zoomed in, how about if I pinch and zoom? Did we ever try that? Because zooming in with my thing doesn't really support it on a device. Who remembers how to do a pinch and zoom? Right? So I want to do one of these. Can I do this like by default? Let's take a look, right? By default, this is all default functionality. I can literally pinch and zoom here, right? Look at it. Goes right into details here, and this is right through MapKit. I didn't do a darn thing. That's how really good it is. This is the one feature when I saw it, I was like, woohoo! iOS is easy when it comes to maps. Easier maybe than Android, right? Would you agree? Android was a crazy killer thing. You have to do all kinds of stuff this time around. And now iOS is easier actually than Android. This is the one feature that I liked that I was like, wow, this is super easy. All right, so that's cool. We've got this working. Does it close an issue? I think it does. It says add code to the project, select Toronto's default location of the map. We closed issue number 5, right? And let's close issue number 7 too. So we're going to actually add some other stuff. But first, let's do one at a time. So we're going to say something like, okay, source control, commit, and we'll say added code to make Toronto default map location. Closes, oops, number 5, right? And we're going to commit and push. Okay, going back to GitHub and refresh, we should only have 2 issues left. Yay, it took it away, right? And now we're going to do this one. I'm going to let you guys do this one, right? That's your to do, not mine, right? And this is going to be one, enter label and text field to allow user to specify magnification. I'll do that one. Actually, I'll let you guys do both those because those are 2 things that I didn't even think about, right? But what about the other one? Add code to the project so that when the user clicks the See on Map button, well, this one I want to do. Hold on, this one I want to do. But there's a couple ones that I'm missing. I say enter label and text field to allow user to specify magnification. Cool. I also need code. So when you enter the information, right, it should go. We didn't have that part. That's high priority, right? So say new issue, add code so that when user enters latitude, longitude, and magnification, the map changes. That's your to-do, right? So now I'm going to put this as a new feature. I'm also going to make this high priority for you guys. And it's going to map out the milestone over here. Okay? Submit new issue. Typically what we would do is, in a real world scenario, I would follow this high priority issue and do this one first. But I'm not doing this one, you guys are. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to add this label and text field, this one here, sorry. Add code to the project so that the user can click the See on Map button. The user opens the map app and with the current location. Okay, cool. That's one I want to close, number 6. So how do I do that? In the PowerPoint, which I'm going to share with you later on, it talks about how this works, right? So what it does is actually MK Map View shows the world through this idea of a Mercator projection, right? A Mercator projection from Wikipedia, right, is actually taking the map and unrolling it inside this spherical or cylindrical map projection. So it projects the map that's a sphere onto a cylinder, and it unrolls it. And that's why it looks like this. That's why we typically see maps that look like this, right? It's called a Mercator projection, which is kind of cool. So we've done all this stuff, and further down, if I'm not wrong, way down in here, it talks about also adding some other things. Like, for example, I want to add a annotation. All right, so this is some other details about the maps, how to do stuff. We're not going to go over that right now. But what it does add, it talks about something called annotations. Think about the marker, that little red thing that pops up on the map that says, hey, this is where you are, right? So there's two parts of the marker. One part is the object attached to the MK map view. So basically some object that shows, maybe it's a sphere or something that shows where you are. That's one part. And then the other part is the object that draws the annotation. So the drawable, something that's going to draw the object that I'm putting on the map. So there's two parts to it, every annotation. Okay? All right, that's the two parts. And what it looks like from a code perspective is something that looks like this. Let annotation is equal to MK point annotation, some new annotation, right? And then the coordinate is equal to self dot annotation location. That's what it actually comes from. It looks like this, right? And then I can add a title and a subtitle if I want, and I can update the self dot map dot add annotation, right? Annotation is just a marker, the little red marker, or whatever you want. All right, so let's try this. So we're going to go back to this. We forgot to put this in. So let's do it. So we'll say new issue, add annotation to the map, right? To display location, right? And we'll say that it is we'll say this is a medium priority. Wasn't really part of it. Would have been nice. It's kind of a nice to have to show the annotation, right? Medium priority. And we're also going to say it's a new feature. It's also always a new feature, it looks like, right? And map milestone, right? Sometimes they're not new features. Sometimes they're bugs. You know, there's a problem, right? We didn't figure that out yet. And I'm going to submit this new issue. Cool. So this is my issue, and I want to add an annotation, right? How do I do that? This is all code. So I'm going to say let n is equal to mk point annotation. We'll do that next. So we'll say, go back to Xcode. We'll type in some of that code. I want to do this right underneath this part, right? So let n is equal to mk point annotation, mk point annotation. Remember that in Swift, we don't have to use the new keyword because Swift is very similar to C++ in that way, right? It allocates memory on the heap anyway, okay? And then what I want to do is I want to say and.coordinate is equal to self.andlock. And.coordinate is equal to self lock. And actually, it's not and lock. Annotation location, what I really want to say is the map location. That's what I want to see. Self.map location. Okay? So whatever that map location is, right, is the annotation location. That's why I put that map location on the top already. All right, cool. And then my annotation.title. So and.title is equal to Toronto, right? And dot subtitle is equal to a place that's really cool. You make whatever you want here, right? And now, wait a minute. We just thought about something, right? We thought about something. I have, when you update the place, you need to update this too. That's another issue that we never thought about, right? Because you're updating the map, but it's still going to say Toronto, right? So you have to update the annotation too, right? So we'll get there in a second, but let's not forget that issue. So I always like to put my issue up first before I continue. So new issue, when map updates, the annotation, comma, the annotation should update as well, right? So that is pretty important if I'm going to have an update. So I'm going to say that as definitely a medium priority, because the whole annotation thing was medium, right? So medium, oops, not projects, labels, medium. And I'm also going to make this a new feature. It's really a dependency though, isn't it? It's like one has to update as well as the other one. We have to fix this up later on. Milestones, and add this as an object. There we go. So another issue. And you can see these are the issues we have left. We still have lots of issues left. But with milestones, we're about 50% done. Something we forgot, some stuff we added, some stuff we closed, right? And we still got a bunch of issues left, right? So, okay, cool. Add code to the project. This is where we are right now. See map on the map button. And then we also add the annotation. This is the one we're really working on right now. This one, right? We haven't even started this one yet. Okay, cool. So I want to do this one, and fun awaits. Self.map.add annotation and. All right, so let's go back to this. Self.map.add annotation, and then and is the one I want. There we go. All right, let's test this one out. This is all I need, right? Because that should work. My annotation should come up. And by the way, guys, don't be upset if it doesn't work. Remember, everything is easy until it's not. Let's try this out. La la la. Try it out. And there it is. There's my annotation. And it doesn't say anything. What the heck? How come it doesn't say anything? It says Toronto. But it doesn't tell me my subtitle or my title. Whoa. Get back here. So this is interesting. I mean, I added my title. It should... Oh, look, I got this little compass over here, too. This is really cool. Look at this compass button, right? And, okay, here's my annotation. It's right in the middle of Toronto, right? And we're going to keep going closer and closer. And does it... I don't see my subtitle at all. Right? Look at that. I'm as close as I can get. I'm within a few feet. Right? I don't see a subtitle. Huh? Hey! Place is really cool. Right? This worked. The annotation part worked. I'm going to source control, commit. I'm going to go commit and push. I'm going to say added annotation. Default annotation is what this is. Closes what issue? Closes number. Which one does it close? Annotation is numbers 9. Right? Closes number 9. Commit and push. Done. All right, one more. So I did this part. Well, in order for me to click the button to do anything, what we need to do is we need to make a reference, an IB action, right? Because it's a button. So just like we've done before, we're going to go into main storyboard. And now this should be old hat for you guys, right? We're just going to, I don't know, go underneath this part right here, somewhere down here, and then control drag down in here somewhere, where we're going to insert an action called see in map app. That's what we're going to say. See in map app. See in map app, and we're going to make it so it's a it's not an outlet, it's an action. Wait, did I do something wrong? Cancel. Let's try that again. I meant the button. Wait a minute. We don't even have a button. Where'd that button go? Did we not say we're supposed to make a button? Oh no. Let's add a button. And we're going to say this button is going to be say see in map app. That's what it's going to be. The button's going to say that. And we're going to put it in there like this at the bottom. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the make sure that the view is updated. Let's just update the view automatically again, like we've been doing, just because. Let's take this away for a second. And I'm just going to update the view. We'll say reset suggested constraints. There we go. Okay, so there's C in map app. Yay. Okay, let's try that again. And yeah, what I meant to do was I have a button. I missed the button, and I even missed the issue for that one, right? Because I was so excited about showing you issues. Control drag. Let's try this again. Instead of an outlet, we want an action. Yay! C in map app. C in map app. And the type is going to be button. There we go. And connect. There we go. So this is the code where all the action is going to happen. We don't have the code yet. It's going to be down here. Right? And there's a very specific piece of code that takes us to do that. It's a little bit more complex, unfortunately. Right? So far, everything's been easy. Right? So far. Your job is going to be very interesting. But let's take a look at the PowerPoint. So way at the bottom here, there's some code to make it all work, right? Where we want to display whatever is on the map. There's actually another one too. Display whatever is on the map, right, inside of the map app. Okay, so we're going to say whatever the location is on the map is going to be this place mark, right? And we're going to say the coordinate is self dot my map location, and we're going to also say that the address dictionary is going to be nil. Okay, so let's p equal to mk place mark, and we're going to say that the location is going to be what's going to go in there. So coordinate. Let's go back. Coordinate. This one is going to be the self dot map location, and we're also going to put in a dictionary, which is address dictionary :nil. Address dictionary :nil, because that's the other parameter. All right, so that's what you need. And again, this is making so that you can have much more stuff to go to the map app, right? And then we're going to say let the map item. So let map item. And again, I hate this code, but it's coming from the book, so I don't want to mislay you. MK map item, right? That's what it represents. And if you really want to go crazy, like this is like place mark. This should say place mark. If you want to be nice, this is place mark. And this should be map item. Map item. Okay, that's what these are. I hate that little MI. What the hell does that mean anyway? And I want to pass in place mark is equal to place mark, which we have already. There we go. Place mark is place mark. That's why they didn't name it this way, right? And then the next part, after we have the place mark and the map item, we need the name. So map item dot name is equal to Toronto, right? Just like we said this. Or we can say an awesome place, a really cool place. We can do that, say a place, or a really cool place. What is this? A really cool place instead of a place that's really cool. Let's make it different. Huh? Really cold place? Sure. A really icy place. Right now, because we had an ice storm. All right, and that's cool. And then that takes care of that part. And what we want to do is we want to open in maps. This is so easy. So map item dot open in maps. And here are my launch options. My launch options give me an array of options. Okay, that's what this does. So basically I want to type in some kind of array, right? I'm just going to kind of clear this up a little bit. Here's an array of launch options, right? That's what's going to go in here. We're going to say that the MK launch options map type key, MK launch options, map type key, this one, is of type mk map type dot standard dot raw value. Mk map type dot standard dot raw value. All right, so that basically says that the map that we're opening up, right? The map that we're opening up is a standard map. We're setting up the map in the map app. That's what we're doing, right? And then we also want MK launch options map center key is MK launch options map center key is equal to self.map.region. That's right. Region.center. Yeah. Right? So whatever our map center is, so too is going to be the map app. And then MK launch options map span key. MK launch options map span key, this one, is going to be equal to self.map.span. Region.span. Region.span. And remember what the span is like the magnification, right? Span is like how much you're looking. And by the way, the magnification does not have to be equal. My magnification is the same. That's why I made it, but you can make it so that it's wider or longer or whatever you're going to do it, right? All right, that's really it in a nutshell. So a couple things we've done here. We make something called a place mark, which adds the map location as the place mark. The map item, which takes the place mark as an object, right? And then what we're doing is we're taking the map item.name and we're using that as the name of the map, and we're opening it in maps. This part right here opens our location in the map app. That's what it does. Okay? Okay, let's test it and see if it works. So this is C in map app. I'm going to run it, and if we click the button, whatever's in the map should show up in the map app. Now you're going to have to change this code for it to work properly. Uh-oh, another issue, right? And you're going to say, what issue are you talking about, Tom? First of all, let's do a couple things here because we can't even see that little button. So I'm going to go to window physical size. Actually, I can just probably drag it like this. There we go. And if I click C in map app, it should pull it up in map app like this now. Boom, a really nice, really icy place right now, right? And we should still be able to kind of zoom in the map app and see my little thing that says a really icy place. There we go, really icy place, right? It's kind of really cool functionality, guys, all built in. Again, the best one I've seen so far, right? Okay, cool, but we have another issue. We just came up, which is when I click C in map app, it says a really icy place, but this is all hard coded. It should take what you have your place, and it should do some extra work. So something like, instead of taking my map location, which is this part right here where I say self.map location, that's like the default location, right? Maybe somehow we have to update this. I don't know what you're going to do. But when you click the CN map button, it should take your location, right? That's maybe some code change you have to make, right? That's an issue. So first of all, we've done add annotation to the map display location. Let's see if that worked. Number 9 closed. Add code so when the user does this, when a map updates, the annotation should update as well. We don't know that. Add code when user enters latitude, longitude, the map up. That's yours. Enter label and text field to specify modification. That's yours. Add code to the project so that when the user clicks the CN map option, this is done. So number 6 is closed. So we're going to go to source control. We're going to go to commit, and we're going to say something like added code to make the CN map map app button work. And this closes number CN map number 6. Number 6. Close number 6 and commit 2 files. Commit and push. Right, there we go. I'm going to go back to this. You can see now that I have 3 open, but I need to add another one because of this issue we just figured out. Wait a minute. If I click the button, I got to make sure that what's going to show on the map app is the one that's actually showing, right? Which should definitely be a medium priority or something like that, because add code when this happens, this is label and text field, so maybe some kind of medium priority, otherwise it won't work properly, right? So let's go to new issue, add code so that when CN map app is pressed, the current map shown in the map app. Well, wait a minute, that says the default map, and now we're adding a map app. This is kind of an enhancement, right? Not a new feature. So, I mean, again, you can see it different ways. You might disagree, whatever. I'm showing you different labels you can use. So we can, hey, it's an enhancement and with definitely medium priority, right? We thought about this as something that's cool, and we want to add this into our little sprint and submit new issue. All right, and you can see now when I look at my issues, I have those. If I look at my milestones, we're 63% complete, right? I'm going to leave that extra 40% for you. Okay? Questions around maps, MapKit. It's kind of very simple, straightforward interface, I would say, right? I'm going to create, I'm going to stop recording now, and I'm going to create a little Dropbox up on eCentennial where you guys can have your completed app go up for 5% of your final grade. All right? And hopefully the people at home will do this as well. All right, I'm going to put this little app, this little PowerPoint up as well. Let's take a 10-minute break, guys, or 15-minute break, and when we come back, I'll have everything ready. And then I'm going to ask you politely to do this little survey that I couldn't get around to doing the last couple weeks I wasn't here. All right.